Hello everybody, Ben Rogers here, the Raptors Digest, reacting to the Toronto Raptors 127-100 loss to the Atlanta Hawks. Riker, we came off a nice hot 8-game win streak, and since that point we've dropped 4 of 5, and it hasn't been looking that good. Like, these have been brutal losses for this team. Is it time to worry in Toronto Raptors land, Riker? Because these games have been brutal.
Yeah, well, listen. We're setting records, Ben. We had a nice win streak. Nice win streak. A nice win streak. And Ben, now we've set the record for the first time ever in Raptors history. 2 back-to-back 30-point losses. I don't know if it was exactly 30. I didn't read the box score, but it was 27. That close. Ben, the last time we lost 2 times back-to-back by 20 points, 2012, 10 full years ago. And we've had atrocious teams, right? 2012, and before, like 1996, whenever the Raptors had their first season. So I'm surprised that we just set a record, but hopefully there were still some positive takeaways. Ben, I know you're ready to commit to the tank here at this point, but it is what it is.
Ready to commit to the tank. And Riker, do we have the segment still here? No, the conspiracy theory, that's for the old laptop. But Riker, maybe Masai Ujiri's playing 5D chess with the NBA. Because obviously we trade away a first-round pick. Now, people might be saying, Ben, if we're going to lose all these games and we trade a first-round pick, how does that make any sense? But the Toronto Raptors kept a top 14 protection on that draft pick. So if we sneak our way back into the lottery, we get down there. Not only did we get Thaddeus Young, his bird rights for future seasons, and I got the animation. I'll break it out early. Chadius Young, as we'll call him, because he's had some good moments. I thought he had a decent game. He was a bright spot in this one here tonight. But we got Chadius Young for cheap, right, for Goran Dragic. And we get to keep that first-round pick if we end up in the lottery, right? If we end up in that spot. The Chadius Young segment was just looping on repeat. But, and then we also get a Detroit Pistons second-round pick that is essentially another first. Am I crazy, Riker's Masai Ujiri going all out with this trade?
And there's stretching, and then there's really stretching. There's elongating, because we didn't get Thaddeus Young on the cheap. We just got a guy who was on an expiring contract. Bird rights, we don't know if we want to re-sign him. And that means we basically just keep our own pick that we'd have, plus a second-round pick. It's not the most amazing return. But as people said, to keep that optimistic spin on it, we did manage to get rid of Goran Dragic without having to pay him out and waste money. And again, it wouldn't have been us. It would have been Bell or Rogers, whoever owns MLSE. That would have been money out of their pockets. But it's the precedent that matters, Ben. Just like it's the precedent of not being demolished in third quarters that apparently the Raptors have completely done away with, because they've now tanked 2/3 in a row. I said it last game. I said it this game. Their efforts were more valiant in the fourth, but for some reason, you get pounded in the second. You go into halftime, into the locker room, and instead of coming out energized, you come out and absolutely suck. Don't know what's up with that. I don't know where the energy and the motivation to win has gone, but this is 2 bad games now in a row, Ben.
Brutal. The curse of Goran Dragic. It's just what happens when you trade him away. But we do have a super chat, Riker, from Tom M, saying, I had the Hawks by 29. So save 1 tier for me. That's tough. It's unfortunate. But that's what happens when you're betting against the Raptors. They'll always irk out that 2 points to break your heart, tear your soul. But it is what it is. The Toronto Raptors, obviously, for people that are going to be in the comment section later on, refer them to this point in the video. I don't think we're actually tanking. I think we're still a good team. We've dealt with some injuries. We're dealing with some sort of mental fatigue, mental lag, because it's clearly, I don't know what this currently is, but regardless of how you rate this roster, we're not this bad. We're not bad enough to be a team that's getting slapped by 30 points back-to-back against the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Hornets. This roster, even without OG Anunoby, it's not that bad. So give it some more time. Obviously, the Raptors have had an up-and-down season this year. It happens when you have young guys, right? Scotty Barnes Award. Let's just get it rolling. Get a little drum roll going, Riker. Get a little drum roll going. It's tonight the Scotty Barnes Award. And as people know, the award is fluid. The award is fluid, and tonight it's going to the guy that had the best game on the previous night. You know, you gotta get that trickle down effect with that award, right? The criteria. The criteria is fluid, Riker. So that's
that's ridiculous.
That's just how it goes. I don't know if your audio's coming in. You look a little bit froze there on the screen. I think your audio's coming through there though. But Scotty Barnes didn't look that great tonight. Looks like you're back. But one rising star, or other rising star, did have a very solid performance in this one, and that's Precious Achiuwa. The Precious propaganda, that can definitely get revved up following this game because he balled out. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. He did it, a lot of this too, or not, about half of it came when the game was still close, right? It came during stretches where the game still mattered, so this wasn't all just garbage buckets for Precious Achiuwa. He hit 2 for 3 from the three-point line, was driving the lane, had a nasty, ferocious dunk. What'd you see out of Precious Achiuwa tonight, Riker? The big sneeze.
A lot of big sneeze, a lot of attacking the basket in this one, and a lot of using his dribble moves, right? And he had guys like Okonmu on him. Whenever he had a mismatch, he was being pretty forceful to get into the paint. I actually really liked what I saw from Precious, and I think Nick Nurse has been telling him, don't settle, put the ball on the ground, get yourself in to the lane, try to finish above the rim. Looked like he was doing that tonight. And then obviously Scotty Barnes had the good last game where we said, get this man more shots. Precious tonight, you could have made the same argument. Yep.
No, for sure. The ball definitely could have went to Precious a little bit more. I think it could have went to Scotty more as well. And we joked, obviously. You know, the criteria is not jokes. The criteria is fluid. Scotty Barnes earned that award tonight based off his performance in the last game. But I know he dealt with foul trouble. I know all this, that, and whatever. But only 5 shots for a guy that dropped 28 points in the previous game. That's an L, Toronto. Come on now. Let's give him the ball. He can bully these big wings on the Atlanta Hawks and drive his way to the rim just like he was doing.
Capella's always been a nuisance. Capella's always been a good anchor in the paint.
Look at what Scotty does to these big, in theory, good defensive centers. He just plows his way to the rim, gets those post-up going. We also have another super chat from Tomette saying the big sneeze. Hashtag the big sneeze. Should we get another Precious animation if he's getting that going?
Don't be saying it that way. Ben, did you know Trae Young had 41 points in the Raptors tonight? I'm just reading the box score now.
Didn't even notice.
Baller.
Helping my fantasy team.
There you go.
Hey, Scooby-Doo's asking you guys giving a hoodie. We already gave that hoodie. Or we're giving it. Josh is picking that up.
We're waiting for a win so we can celebrate it. That's basically it. So we can celebrate it and give it the proper farewell that it deserves. And also we're waiting for...
Josh needs to pick it up.
And we're waiting for Zank to return from his vacation so that we can actually bequeath the sweater to the new rightful owner from the giveaway, who is a real person, and they will be videotaping themselves, putting it on, unpackaging it, whatever they want to do. Ben, tonight, I guess before we start to go into the segments, because don't want to be, spending too much time on a big L like this, I have a funny anecdote actually, but I want to wait for the segments. The only real shining star outside of Precious Achiuwa, unless you've already talked about Fred VanVleet, and I haven't heard him, was Fred VanVleet. Good amount of point scoring. However, high volume of shots. He's still looking awful. Like, dare I say, terrible from the 3. If you have to take 14 attempts just to get 5 makes, that's bad. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's not about a percentage, but with exception to the first 5 minutes of this game, I completely agree. He came out firing, knocking down shots, but just from the eye test, Fred isn't looking himself. Now, we know he's dealing with injuries. We know this. I don't know why the Raptors, if Siakam's out with flu-like symptoms, Siakam just looks a bit out. Siakam looks sick. I don't know. He's had flu-like symptoms. He looks like a guy that's just not mentally into it, which makes sense if you're feeling under the weather. Just sit him out. Rest him. Right? If we're getting this type of performance and Fred VanVleet's injured, he's not able to get around guys like Trae Young, right? I guess Fred did have a good first few minutes, but obviously tapered off as the game went along. But just rest the guys if that's going to be the case. We're losing by 30 points anyways. Just Let him get recouped, recovered, and come back and give some more touches to Scotty Barnes, Precious Chua, Starboy, Gary Trent Jr.
Yeah, it's probably not helping anybody to play our starters or Fred and Siakam 35 and 37 minutes if we're still going to lose by a 30-point blowout. Maybe it's time for Fred to have another kid. I don't know. That seemed to bring him out of the slump last time. So we'll see what happens if he can find some other more or less costly, right, both emotionally and monetarily, to get out of this shooting slump, Ben. But I definitely agree. More shots for Chua, more shots for Barnes.
Yep, no, for sure. But Riker, let's swing into those segments. I want to get to that anecdote you got going. But tonight, the spicy play of the day. And even though this game sucked and it was a horrible watch, we did get a nasty Precious Achua dunk off the dribble on the wing. One dribble straight down the lane, looking like, I'll play that propaganda again, looking like something Giannis would pull in a game. One dribble from the 3-point line, dunking over, I forget who it was in the Atlanta Hawks, but that was a vicious jam there, Riker. Do you have another one in mind?
Yeah, Fred Light, Malachi Flynn, who got opportunity this game and didn't do anything with it. He did have one impressive play where he did a Hezo fake. You know those? You fake the shot, right? And a nice little change of direction.
Those, sir.
Ben, he has that in his bag of tricks. In his bag. I can't mime a bag. But it was a nice Hezo fake and then good crossover. He kind of broke the ankles of Okonwu, who had 3 blocks in this game, and then didn't finish the basket, but did get a foul. So that was kind of a neat little move there. Yeah,
you love to see Malachi Flynn. And Riker, we're swinging it into the next segment. It segues good for what I had in mind. Not all plays can display play of the day, and some just make you say, oh, geez. And you bring up Malachi Flynn, 20 minutes in this game. 20 minutes in this game, getting some run, some proper run. I thought he played well in garbage time in the previous one. Got those backup point guard minutes over Delano Banton tonight, even though Banton did get some minutes in the fourth quarter. But struggled from the field, had a bunch of shots just go in and out. Was 2 for 10 from the field, 0 for 5 from the 3-point line. Did have 6 points, had that play, as you mentioned, 0 assists. What did you see out of Malachi Flynn? You kind of wrote him off at the end of last game. Do you see he change your opinion, even though the shots weren't really going down in this one tonight?
Well, I didn't change my opinion. If you were listening to the broadcast team, Jonesy was saying a bunch of times, there's no such thing as garbage minutes because everybody gets a chance to develop. Well, that's wrong. You're wrong, Jonesy. You might have been around basketball longer than me, but there is such thing as garbage time. It's when you're giving players run that it'll have 0 impact in the playoffs, that are absolutely not going to be rotation players. That's the definition of garbage time. You're playing those guys that will not play in the playoffs, right? It's not garbage time if you're resting your starters like Ben suggested and Scotty Barnes gets more shots. Precious Achua gets more shots. It's not beneficial to the Raptors that Malachi Flynn's going 0 for 5 from the field because he will never lace up this season in the playoffs if the Raptors make it there. So you were wrong in that statement, Ben. That's not you, Jonesy, but that's what I have to say about Malachi.
I'm catching strays from Jonesy's comments.
You're not catching any strays.
Okay. No. But yeah, and another OGs too. I brought this up to you at the start of this, and Scooby-Doo's bringing it up in the chat right now. He's asking, is DJ Wilson back on the roster? Is he back? Because ESPN box score has him in there. Obviously, I'm not manually typing this base bar below. I scrape it all from ESPN, but
I don't have it. I don't have it on ESPN.
Yeah, I don't know what's up, but apparently DJ Wilson's randomly reinserted into the box score for the Toronto Raptors for this game. So maybe he'll be our savior. Maybe he's coming back to save us from the Goran Dragic curse. Obviously, I want to play this Chadius Young segment, the Simp Dragic or whatever, and then Alpha Giga Chad Thaddeus Young. That's how it goes. Breaking out those memes. But Riker, the infamous, the one, the only Golden Kazoo Award of this night. Raptors losing 4 of 5. There's a lot of guys I could go to. I don't want to give it to Siakam because he was sick. Scotty Barnes didn't get a lot of shots. Kem Birch doesn't look like Kem Birch out there ever since he was come back from injury. Fred VanVleet had a hot start, so he's definitely not getting in. Thought Thad was fine. Boucher didn't do much in his stretch of minutes. Anyone you want to send it to? Anyone you want to? Nick Nurse, Masai.
Most of our starters, Ben, if people hate when I bring up plus minus, but our starters got whomped. They got absolutely walloped by the Atlanta Hawks in this game. So they deserve the golden kazoo. But Ben, I do have this anecdote that I want to say, because this is my true golden kazoo of this one. More of just a comment on what I've seen, not really a true anecdote. But you and I, we like to joke. We like to meme. That's become our brand. We could give a more serious. Oh, and as I say this, I'm frozen. Hopefully my audio is coming through. I'll wait for you. You can take it off.
Yeah, your audio's coming through. Your audio's coming. Let's play.
Oh, but I'm frozen. People are not going. They're not going to get my face.
We'll play the final
that's
alarm
part of the
as we get this anecdote going. Let's get this final alarm going.
Perfect.
Woo 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 woo.
Beep 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 beep. Woo 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 woo.
That's right. The final alarm has sounded, and Ryker is back on the Zoom screen. But before he finishes his anecdote, get a little like spike going, sir. You're back. You're back rocking.
I'm like kind of back.
You're good.
Oh, so shout out to I got to pull his name up real quick. Shout out to Ramanan Mahen. Ramanan Mahen. In my IG DMs, helping me out with my Wi-Fi situation. So he gave me a bunch of homework. I need to figure out what kind of router I have and what the model is and what configuration it is. But once I get that, it sounds like he's going to be able to lead me to the promised land. But Ben, back to the anecdote. We meme, we joke. That's the brand. That's what people have come to know the Raptors Digest for. You don't tune in to Sportsnet or TSN to expect the studio team nor the broadcast team to absolutely troll the Raptors. But this game was so a novel. They didn't give a second commentary or breakdown of the game. I just thought that was absolute jokes. We're only on a 2-game losing streak, and they've all committed to the tank. Pretty rough to see, Ben.
Imagine just on the broadcast just start cheering for the other team. Like, we need that draft pick.
Oh, listen, if things don't change, we're gonna have to call up the Hornets broadcast team and say, listen, we need some fire in the booth. We need you guys to come here for a couple games.
Just to get the excitement going. But I thought the broadcast was solid tonight.
Yeah, I like the broadcast. This was the studio team.
Yeah,
Nurse, Leo.
Yeah, I respect it. I respect the hustle. Respect the vibes. But apparently the audio cut out for Ryker.
Oh
no, you're good. You're good.
My
you're
anecdote.
Good. Scooby-Doo saying maybe something happened previously. But hopefully the audio is fine. It looks like it's coming through mine. Let us know, chat, if it's not.
This one.
It's looking good. The visuals, it was solid. However, speaking of Wi-Fi situations, so I didn't have Wi-Fi actually for like 3 days of this week. So Rogers is coming out and fixing poles around my house. So that's why my Wi-Fi has been absolutely atrocious for the past like month and a half. It's what's happening. But okay, people aren't complaining.
Is it good now?
Yeah, I think it's good here now. I think it's solid.
I need Rogers or Bell to come and fix my poles.
Yeah, it's we called them and everything because the Wi-Fi died here. It's the weather. It's the Newfoundland windstorms. They're taking people out. But
the Wi-Fi died, Ben, just like the Raptors will to win games, particularly third quarters. We have the next game, I think, against Brooklyn on Monday, which will still be Ben Simmons less because I just heard today apparently he still has back issues that need to be sorted before he can return to court. Do you think we have a chance of winning that one or no?
Like if we play like the Raptors, then we should. If we play like this, we're not beating anyone. We're not beating the Sacramento Kings. We're not beating the U15 Newfoundland
Pistons.
2014
well, we already
provincial
lose to the
team.
Pistons,
We're not beating nothing. We could be a super team and not beat the Pistons. So that's just how it goes. But as said, Ben Simmons won't be playing in it. KD is supposed to come back next week. I doubt it'll be early in the week. I'm not sure, but they said at some point next week he should be coming back. Kyrie still can't play in Canada. I'm not sure if the game's in Brooklyn or Canada. He's not going to be able to play against the Raptors at least yet, unless something happens with the government, the mayor or something. I don't know who makes the decisions down there. So hopefully we beat the Nets because they're close to us in the standings and we want to stay out of the play-in, and currently we are in the play-in, but want to push the Nets back as far as they can, because even though I don't think you or I are super high on the Brooklyn Nets, they are a team that, in theory, could make a nice little run to end off the season if healthy. So it's You agree? Did I?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
I mean they have star power, and that's usually all it takes in the NBA to put together a couple of wins.
Yeah, but you and I both are Brooklyn Nets haters, so it's good vibes. Good vibes all around. And we gotta beat. Old, chattiest youngs out here gotta bully Mr. Goran Dragic. That's just how it's gotta go. How it's got to go. But Riker, it's a wild game. It's something Bueno Kitty saying Ben said Ben Simmons, but no young socialite animation. Gotta get the young socialite dancing memes happening. But is there anything you want to sort of sound off on the Raptors right now? Any takes?
There's really not. Before this podcast started, I said it seems like the night.
You said this was a
sweet.
podcast that's like an hour long. Is that what you brought up?
I think I specifically said the word short and sweet.
I think you said long and strong.
Oh. Nope.
Chad Young. Goat. Long and strong. Like Chatty is young. Zach is breaking up. Maybe Dragic coming back to the Raptors will put the universe back in order. Playing against him on Monday. I think that's got to happen. That's got to be what happens.
Yeah, it's like a what was that movie where they switch places?
Freaky Friday.
I wish I was you. Yeah, Freaky Friday. And so it's like we need to touch Dragic again and return. I wish I had back her old win streak. And then we're back again.
Guys, it's going to be a freaky Monday here a couple days from now. So the Raptors are going to be streaking once again. Let's get those flames going. But folks, if you've made it this far in a wild Toronto Raptors, not heartbreaking, just soul crushing. That's a better word for it. Loss on a Saturday night. Come back we appreciate you for coming here, but come back Monday because life is gonna be good. Life will be better. Freaky Monday's gonna occur, and we're gonna get some W's. But check out the Instagram, the TikTok, the Twitter, all that cool stuff. Some big stuff coming for the Digest brand over the next couple weeks. So crazy stuff. Stay tuned. Subscribe to all our channels. Riker, do you have any last words on this Toronto Raptors game?
Yes, Ben. Another one, very timely. When it is obvious that goals cannot be reached, don't adjust the goals. Adjust the action steps, Ben. Can you think of somebody that needs to do that? The Raptors. It's the Raptors that need to do that. I saw the
point at me. I was like, oh no.
It's the Raptors that need to do it, Ben. Cheers.
Yep.